Omojiade, Suli de Gloria.
Hello everyone, my name is Christopher E. Omojiade, the CEO. I am the multi-potentialite with several God-given expressions, and I will like first to extend my appreciation to the Commonwealth Coaching Council for this unique invitation, this special invitation to speak to you at this year's 2025 Goal Scoring Masterclass that has a very unique theme, catch up. It is indeed a privilege. And my prayer is that 2025 will yield to each and every one of you a very mighty harvest. I equally celebrate all the other great speakers who will also be gracing this platform at this event. I have taken time to break down my brief talk about financial democracy and will express these talking points with references, with examples, with a few case studies and stories, which I hope will help you to be sufficiently empowered after my discourse. In introducing financial democracy, I believe that the very starting block for each and every one of us, and which is the most important, is that we need to start with what I may actually classify as my definition of our subject matter. So what then is financial democracy? You see, it is the idea that everyone, regardless of background, income level, should have equal access to financial services, information, and opportunities. I mean, just to give you all a little historical context, we can all agree that the well-known financial system where we have all found ourselves operating in today has traditionally been designed for the wealthy and for institutions. I mean, this is leaving behind marginalized communities and by extension, billions of human beings on the earth with no financial muscle whatsoever. Financial democracy, therefore, is a must. And it's a conversation that we must all have in order to level the playing field. I mean, I remember the weighty quote of one of my favorite leaders, the Indian leader Gandhi. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. You see, this quote underscores the very need for equity in access to financial resources. One of my greatest inspirational figures of the last century must be the Bangladeshi economist, entrepreneur, politician, civil society leader, Muhammad Yunus, who just about 7 months ago actually became the chief advisor to the interim government of Bangladesh. He advocated financial democracy over the last 20 to 30 years, and he led a movement that led to the rise of a microfinance institution and his Grameen Bank, which is now a prime example of how financial democracy can actually uplift underprivileged communities through small loans. I mean, Eunice's approach gave millions in Bangladesh the ability to start businesses, to pave the very way for poverty and evasion. Thus, would lead him to be awarded the esteemed Nobel Peace Prize for 2006 for his work in creating economic and social development from below. My rhetoric question would be, in Nigeria, with a swinging population that data have found very hard to capture, which our population numbers are not of, over 200 million, where are the institutions that are primarily and uniquely focused to bring about financial inclusion to those who presently are underserved? And who, if not, will cater to them? We must understand that everyone's load must be everyone's responsibility. Why then is financial inclusion important? Because it is the provision of affordable financial services to individuals who are being underserved by traditional financial institutions. A few weeks ago, I had an engagement with a top executive of one of the fintech companies here in Lagos, Nigeria, who caters to the undeserved. And the story is familiar and the stats are a cause for worry. if we are all going to be under the same umbrella of equity. We must no longer pay lip services to access to banking credits, to insurance. All of the things that lead to financial exclusion, which deepens poverty, which makes about economic inequality, and if I may add, and often mostly ignored, a byproduct of it is insecurity. Our eastern neighbor, Nigeria, all the way in Kenya, has shown us through the revolutionary M-Pesa that this can be achieved. M-Pesa is a mobile-based money transfer and financial services platform that has totally revolutionized financial inclusion in Kenya. As of 2023, M-Pesa serves over 50 million people, including many in rural areas who previously lacked access to traditional banking. In Latin America and the Caribbean, according to the World Bank, it says roughly 55% of people in Latin America lack access to formal financial services. However, initiatives like fintech platforms are bridging that gap. The World Bank reports that about 1.7 billion people globally are still unbanked. That is a crazy number. Financial democracy is therefore the right movement to change this worrying statistic. Fintech and digital banking is critical. The role of fintech startups in bringing about a democratization of finance by providing essential services such as online payments, savings, loans, and investment platforms to undeserved populaces. It is not all gloom for Nigeria, as we continue to see a rise in fintech companies, but we need many more to cover the very many years of neglect of these populace. I am a strong believer in the role of education and financial literacy. And even this very talk I am giving you today is a prime example. Hence, my full support for this masterclass. Financial education is a key pillar of financial democracy. Without financial literacy, people cannot make informed decisions about savings, investing, or managing debt. And we will be doing our country and future generations a great disservice if the gospel of financial literacy is not at the very forefront of our educational drive. Integrating financial education into our school curriculum and adult education programs should be non-negotiable. You and I can see it in countries such as South Korea that recently launched in 2012 the financial literacy movement. She launched a nationwide financial literacy program that is aimed at improving the public's understanding of personal finance. Today, South Korea has one of the highest rates of financial literacy globally. We must therefore call on policymakers, government administrators to push for legislation that will support this noble drive. I also believe that a number of financial courses, though not initiated by formalized institutions, should be encouraged. I am currently a beneficiary of a few online universities, and they have gone on to help thousands of individuals gain control over their finances and secure a future that was once bleak. Again, I ask you the question, where is my country, Nigeria, going? While I lay no expertise in certain innovations which are presently evolving, there is no doubt that the results would enable financial democracy. You and I can all see how digital technologies, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, robo-advisors, peer-to-peer lending, how each of these things are opening up new avenues for financial participation and democratization. Nigeria, Africa, we can no longer afford to play catch-up as we did in the last technological wave. We must go on now to create ecosystems, to challenge thinking, and go ahead to encourage innovation. Individuals, regardless of their background and their ages, must be encouraged to use crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, GoFundMe, which allows individuals to fund projects and businesses without relying on traditional venture capital, rather than using such platforms only for charitable causes. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have been allowed to, as the tools for financial inclusion, allowing individuals and countries with unstable currencies or banking systems to access a decentralized financial system as we see here in Nigeria. With just a click of a button, we can all have access to automated, low-cost investment strategies that will make wealth building tools more accessible to a wider population, particularly our young and less affluent individuals. The impact of digital wallets, for instance, in a country like India, following the 2016 democratization drive in India, digital wallet usage just surged, with platforms like PATM becoming popular among small businesses and the rural population. These financial shifts led to a democratization access to digital payment systems. Again, I ask you, where is my country, Nigeria, going? There are steps to overcoming these barriers to financial democracy, which can no longer be denied. We can no longer bury our heads in the sand and wish for a brighter future without taking steps. One of those is systematic inequality, lack of access to capital, and financial illiteracy that hinder true financial democracy. We see how social, racial, gender inequalities impact access to financial resources, and this must change. In the US, there's a discriminatory practice by banks of denying mortgages to people of certain colors in certain neighborhoods based on racial composition. And all of this has led to wealth inequality. Therefore, programs were designed to undo this damage, such as the Community Reinvestment Act, the CRA, which are now vital for providing financial democracy. Again, I ask you, Nigeria, where are our local laws? According to the Global Findex database, women worldwide are less likely to have access to formal financial systems than men. A story about a woman entrepreneur who overcame such barriers is the woman Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her advocacy for gender equality is well known in finance. And it could highlight how women are increasingly participating in and benefiting from financial systems. There are global perspectives on financial democracy, and there are also implications as well. The concept of financial democracy has global relevance, from Africa to Latin America, all the way to Asia. We see it in the Philippines with the financial inclusion strategy. The Philippines has worked towards promoting financial inclusion through its own unique national strategy for financial inclusion, NSFI, aiming to increase access to financial services for all Filipinos, particularly in rural areas. You see it happening in Brazil, where the Bolsa Familiar, a government program, is designed to reduce poverty and inequality, providing conditional cash transfers to families, empowering them with greater financial stability. Again, I ask you, where is my country, Nigeria, going? In conclusion, I have tried to highlight to you the importance of financial democracy in creating equitable access to financial opportunities for all. I have emphasized that financial democracy is not only a moral imperative, but is also a strategic necessity for sustainable economic growth and security. Hopefully, I have encouraged you to take a deep dive and for you to take action in supporting all initiatives and policies that promote financial inclusion and literacy for all. The great Madiba, Nelson Mandela, once said, Education is the most important weapon which you can use to change the world. This is a charge to everyone watching this video. Let us all become financial democracy advocates to spread the gospel of financial literacy and advocate for policies that foster financial inclusion. It is for your good. It is for my good. It is for all our good. Once again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts. And remember this, yes, we can.
Christopher Amoy Jadi Suli de Gloria.